Good morning, everyone. This is Kosala, also known as Marventus, bringing you yet another episode of my Rift guide. Now, sorry about the lack of Rift stuff. I've had, as you know, a few issues with my computer, which have now sorted themselves out once again, so I'm back doing Rift videos, and there will be more upcoming. You can notice here I've gone to my low-quality renderer version of Rift in order to get a better frame rate for these videos. The game looks vastly better than this under normal conditions, of course. But today, we're talking about the Paladin... hold on. No, we're not. We're talking about the Shaman class. Why did I say Paladin? That's crazy. It's a Cleric role. And we're talking about the Shaman class today. I'm going to be doing one DPS focused on the Cleric and one healing focused on the Cleric. And this is the DPS one, and I've decided to do the Shaman role. Couple of choices that you can do as a DPSer in the Cleric world. You can be the ranged caster type DPS, or you can be the melee DPS. Because the melee DPS role shares a lot of the same items and armor as the healing role, I decided to go with that one instead. So here we are, Shaman it is. I've gone with Druid, Shaman, Justicar. Now the reason I picked Druid is primarily for the fact that you get the fairy, who does just that little bit of healing. This, the fairy is this one right here. I called mine Momo. Momo the fairy. And she does a little bit of ranged healing, which is actually not entirely useless, to be honest. And you can, if you want to, do the upgraded fairy further down the line if you want, somewhere here. Which probably is worth it as well. I'm not totally convinced I'm going to. It depends on how far I go down the shaman tree. But it's possible that I might. But so the main reason I got it was really for the fairy. But there are a couple of other nice things in there. The Shield of Oak is a nice damage shield. And then we've got the Trickster Spirit, which is also a nice spell, and the Fervent Strike, which is also a fairly decent sort of damage spell, which I have now replaced with Massive Blow here from the Shaman side, which has the same icon there, not to be confused. I did wind up using that in the beginning, though, but the moment I got Massive Blow, I switched it out. And you pretty much, I mean, these roles, of course, as I'm sure you figured out by now, do share a certain amount of similar damage abilities, and you don't need to use them all. You simply pick the ones that you like. So that's why I picked the Druid tree over here, and of course that quick Balm of the Woods heal is actually incredibly useful, because every now and then you do need to spot a heal-off yourself. Now on the Justicar side, the primary reason I got it was for that, the Hammer of Virtue. The Bolt of Radiance is actually not terribly useful, but you know it's an instant cast damage spell. Why not? You can occasionally use it to get that last little bit of damage in order to kill things off. I do have it. I do use it, but primarily I got it for this, the Hammer of Virtue. Your melee strike ability is the additional 5% damage, which of course is wonderful when you are a melee damage dealer. And I will eventually get this, your armor increased by 3% as well. Further up the tree, if there are points to be had later on, I will get these talents. I will call them that heal you as you do damage, which of course is very pleasant. So the Paladin and the Druid, the Justicar, I keep calling it a Paladin. Wow damaged, you see. Wow damaged, I keep calling it a Paladin. It's Justicar tree and the Druid tree are good balanced trees for the Shaman main one. But let's take a look at the Shaman now. Let's take a look at, I'm level 28 at this point, and I have managed to dig extremely far into the Shaman tree. Now, to be fair, this was an interesting class to play early on. He does not do a lot of damage at low levels. You do manage, but I think without the healing spells, you're in trouble early on, and you certainly can't take on multiple mobs early on. In order to take on multiple mobs, there are a few spells that you need to have. One of them is this, Avalanche Strike, which you get reasonably early on, which hits multiple opponents. And the original spell goes for 9 to 12 damage, and at this point it's dealing 40 to 44 physical damage at my level at this point. You absolutely need to have that, and the Shaman world doesn't get fun until you start getting Jolt, which is up here, and also this one right here, which is Fated Blow, which is a reactive spell. So let's get into some of these a little bit at a time. Low level talents. Unyielding increases your melee crit. That's a total no-brainer. Right, Dauntless Courage increases your physical damage. Again, complete no-brainer. When I started leveling, my first points went into Dauntless Courage, into Unyielding, and into Hammer of Virtue. Then I started moving into Thick-Skinned, reduces the damage received. And Favored of the Valnir increases the healing you receive, which is quite useful because you do have a couple of healing spells that you will toss off every now and then. So while you're getting those talents, you would have got Faith in Action automatically. You'd have got Vengeance of the Winter Storm buff automatically. Now, if you look at my buff tree, across these three souls, you can get a massive amount of buffs. Now, I have grouped all of my buffs here in the top right-hand bar here, so at any point in time, I can have all of these buffs running, which is pretty damn excellent, really. It is is this something that's hidden in the background there? That seems quite weird. Anyway, I'll look into that in a second. So my top right-hand bar here, these are my buffs. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buffs running simultaneously. It's just absolutely amazing. You can be incredibly buffed up as a shaman and Justica druid combo. So very, very useful to have. And then this one, Courage of the Jaguar, increases your dexterity of yourself and all group members by 5. Also nice. Crushing Blow is my standard opening hit. I will go through my rotation in a moment. And then pretty soon you will get Fated Blow. Very, very nice. A powerful, I'm going to read it out here. A powerful inevitable blow that deals weapon plus 22-25 physical must be used after the cleric has been dodged or parried. And the thing is, mobs will dodge and parry you reasonably often. I have hotkeyed this one to a T, and I power away whenever necessary. Incredibly useful. So let's continue upwards. I gave Favored of the Valnir a miss here, but I'm actually going to get that later on down the line because it is useful. I had it early on when I was first leveling, and then I got rid of it because I didn't need it after a while. In the initial early levels, actually this is kind of handy to have because you will have a tough time in melee fights, especially against multiple mobs. But as you get upwards in level, you need it less and less, so I got rid of it. Glacial Shield, I got rid of that as well because I prefer to use these other buffs instead, so I didn't grab that at all. And then Overwhelming increases your critical hit damage and healing bonus by 20. Obviously, you're going to grab that one. And then Long Memory. Your Crushing Blow has a 6% chance to reset the cooldown of Massive Blow. This is actually pretty decent. I didn't get it because I had others I wanted to prioritize, but I will get it further down the line. Vengeance of the Frozen Earth, again another buff. Endless Winter, melee critical hits cause you to restore 4% of your maximum mana. That's absolutely priceless. And then Jolt. The sooner you can get Jolt, you should get it. The whole concept of Shaman damage works as a combo of melee and magic. So you've got to have your melee attacks, you've got to have your magic attacks, and Jolt is the granddaddy of your magical attacks. You definitely want that as early as possible. So here we have it. It unleashes a surge of electricity, deals 44 to 47 air damage. It must be used after the cleric critically hits. Now keep in mind that you've already got a bunch of talents that increase your critical hit, which is exactly why you want to follow up with Jolt. So you have already increased your talents for critical hit. You will be hitting critically more often than you would otherwise. Definitely want to have the Jolt. And your rotation, my rotation generally will look like this. I will engage and open. I generally pull with this actually, Bolt of Radiance. And then I will engage with Crushing Blow, follow up with Avalanche Strike, even if there isn't a multiple amount of mobs out there. Trickster Spirit I will generally pummel out as well. Not necessarily my favorite and useful spell, but it's out there, I use it. Lightning Hammer comes in next, followed by Massive Blow, and whenever the cooldowns are off, I will always hit Massive Blow and always hit Lightning Hammer and fill out with the others in the meantime. And that's it. It's not really a complex rotation. Now, while this is going on, your Fated Blow and your Jolt will automatically become available from time to time. You absolutely must use that because the upgraded damage that comes from those two situational attacks are pivotal to you succeeding, especially against multiple mobs. Now, while all this is going on, there's a couple of other interesting spells that you need to know about. Glory of the Chosen. Heals the cleric for 113 to 117, can only be used after being critically hit. Now you will get critically hit reasonably often, so between the Balm of the Woods and the situational Glory of the Chosen, I can generally keep myself at full health throughout a fight. So I actually don't think the Shaman became interesting for me until the mid-20s when I got Jolt. So really at this point, at level 28, I'm having a hell of a lot of fun with this class. It's wonderfully fun to play. You can generally pull anywhere from 2 to 3, I've had up to 4 mobs at the same time at the same level and survived. it's quite exhilarating in the thick of it sort of action, because you're doing a lot of melee damage and keeping an eye on those situationals while at the same time popping off your heals in the right timing. So really, this is the most fun I've had with the melee class pretty much ever in a game. So for those who are interested in giving it a wallop, I certainly do recommend it. Definitely get a two-hander. I have got, let's see what I've got. I've got the Thunderous Beacon here, which I'm pretty sure I got from a dungeon somewhere. Two-hander is your weapon of choice, and I certainly use these talents. If anybody else uses any other combination of talents or soul rolls, do pop down into the comments below and let me know. But this is certainly highly recommended from my perspective. I will give you a link to the talent spec or the points tree later on in the description. But I hope you all enjoyed this insight into the Shaman role. I will be back later with healing classes for the Cleric and which talent specs and point distributions I use for that. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.